What is up, YouTube? It's your boy out here, and today we had a $200 win. It is not a lot, it should have been a lot more, but as I've told you guys a million times in the market, a green is a green. If you're coming on this and you think you're gonna win every single day, crazy profits, you're gonna be in this game for a hot while, homie. You know what I mean? But if you're on the, if you clicked on this thumbnail and you're looking to make some extra money and you're looking for a long haul thing, man, this is it. You know, this strategy I've been teaching you guys every single time, man. You know, I'm not saying every single time, but a lot of the times this strategy is working, man. I've been making videos for about a week now. We did lose a couple of them, you know, but most of them are due to my own error rather than the actual strategy itself, you know, and that's why I tell you guys all the time how important psychology is. I was busy this morning. I was trading with a friend. We both were kind of looking at it, both kind of hesitating. I like to zone in. I like to focus on my trades, you know, but I was trading with him this morning, and, you know, I should have hit it a lot earlier on than I did. I feel like my emotions kind of got in the way this morning, you know, so and you guys can learn from that. Seriously, you guys can learn from me. You know, again, I am an entertainment guy. I ain't, you know, financial guru. I'm not an advisor. I'm no one special. Don't listen to me. You know, this is just how I make my money. This is how I've been trading. I show you guys what I do. I show you guys where I went wrong or where I went right, you know, and you guys can judge it based off of that. You know, I mean, it's a solid strategy. It's been working consistently. Again, enter times, things like that. Your entry points are going to be so important, which is going to come with experience. But welcome to the show, all right? So what do we do? As always, boys, we take the 15-minute candle, okay? So as you guys can see, I am using NinjaTrader. There's a lot of them you can choose from, man. You know, there's NinjaTrader, there's Tradovate, you name it, man. You know, Top Step X, whatever it is that you're using, it doesn't really matter. It's all about, again, you know, entry time, strategy, etc., right? So what I do is I go to the 15-minute time frame, and if you are new here, I go over this every single video. Each candlestick represents a time frame, whether if you look over here, whether it's the minute, 5-minute, 15, 30-minute, hour, etc., right? And that's how I go my trades. I use the 15-minute and I use the 5-minute. So what I do is I let the 15-minute go from 9:30 to 9:45, right? I will let it close out first. I don't just trade just to trade. I've learned so many mistakes over being dumb. If you see the dog in the background, that is Bear. But I'll wait for the 15-minute candle, okay? I marked my high and my low. So that's the lowest it's been in the 15 minutes. That's the highest it's been in the 15 minutes. This is why I love the strategy, man. It's so simple compared to everything else, you know, that I've ever learned in this market. It really is. And, you know, obviously there's other confluences to look at on top of it that are going to help you make your, you know, your points of entry, for example, right? But what we do is we switch it to the 5-minute from the 15, okay? And we wait for a closure among the 15-minute candle, okay? So as you guys can see, this is where I should have entered, right here. And this is me being brutally honest with you guys. This is where I should have entered. I knew there was a lot of down. The problem is, I think this morning is that number one, I was preoccupied, right? And we were kind of just messing around, etc. But, you know, we still ended up having a good trade. But for example, right, I could have entered right here. I had a feeling, I thought it was going to continue coming back up because of the uptrend from last night, right? But as you look at it, right, number one, it made its closure, which I tell you guys all the time. Once it makes its closure, you always watch that second candle. It was completely red. I should have entered. I did not enter. I entered out. I'm pretty sure I entered down here, which is like around here, this region, and I made a quick 200 bucks. You know, like it went up to 350 bucks. I got out at 200. It is what it is. Again, I'm not in these for the long trades. If you want to do that, again, completely up to you. You know, I'm thinking about making a second, another account with my Top Step X accounts and going in just holding long term, you know, these trades, because consistently it's working. It really is, you know, and I think that having multiple accounts is going to be the key for me. You know, I already have a couple, but I want more, you know, as far as just long term goes. You know, being able to hold those trades for several, you know, for like an hour, for example, and just letting it really go down and hit a big take profit. You know, with my other one, I told you guys, you know, it depends on the day. Some days it's 200 bucks, some days it's 500. So yesterday was 630. Hopefully tomorrow's 1,050. I have no idea yet, so we're gonna find out. But every single time, man, look at if you had waited, you held your trade from this point all the way down to 1120, you would have made some serious change. And what do you look for, right? You look for the confluences, right? You look for a close underneath this 15-minute candlestick, okay? Underneath the low wick. Closed out, meaning it's heading downwards. The market gave you enough, you know, confluence to be able to go in this for a put and head down with it, right? So even if you had entered here or here, you would have still made money, right? And what are we looking for, right, on top of the just 15 and the 5? We're looking for confluence, okay? So obviously, very clearly, we have a downtrend. You should not be taking bullish, you know, bullish trades in a bearish market. You shouldn't be, you know, and like that sometimes I feel like that's what I caught myself doing for a long time was, you know, on the bearish trend, I'd be going in for a bullish trade, you know, oh, it's gonna go up, it's gonna be a reversal. There was no signs of reversal this morning. There was a couple where I was kind of thinking about it, like right here, it looked kind of like it was gonna start reversing, but again, there was no breakup structure to do that, right? And the one thing I've learned more than anything in this past year is patience, right? Is being patient with your trades, you know, and if you are not seeing confluence, do not go in, right? So when I realized I missed my trade up here, I'm being real. When I realized I missed my trade and I might not be able to get in, because I don't just jump in to jump in. I used to do that. I don't jump in to jump in. I waited for, there was a consolidation point. I don't remember exactly where it was. I think it was like right here, somewhere in this range, where there's a consolidation. I waited for it to drop below on the 5-minute candle beneath that, the low of the consolidation, and then it continued downwards from there, and that's how I made my money. But again, I don't normally trade like that. I normally do that 15 and 5-minute candle. You know, that is what you should be doing. Again, for entertainment, you know, if you're just messing around, having fun with your friends with fake money, that's what you should be doing. Personally, that's what works for me every single time. I feel like the days where I make a little bit of money versus, or even like negative, right, I'm losing, is the days I'm not listening to my strategy. You know, the days where I'm not doing what I should be doing, I'm not following my rules, and it eats me every single time, man. It eats me every single time. Today was a green. I am not complaining. I am thanking the Lord because a green is a green. Even if it's 50 bucks, green is better than, you know, 500 bucks red. Remember that, you know, so don't be mad at it. Keep going forwards. We keep moving day by day. One thing I also wanted to mention for anyone new to this channel, right, is we always want to check the previous day's lows, also Asia and London sessions, right? So this morning, what made me even decide my trade further, my small trade that I took, was that I realized where it was heading, right? So if you look at the previous day, right, let's just go down on the 1 hour and let's look. So if we look at the London and, you know, Asia sessions, which is like, you know, 12 o'clock, 3 in the morning, where is it? We're looking, where would it be? Where would it be? All right, so 12 p.m. today. I don't even remember what day it is. It's the 13th. So we're looking at the 12th, and we'd be looking at the 12 a.m. area, which is right here. So around this range. So if you look at right here, right? If we open this up a little bit, you know, this is where, you know, the market, the sessions were last night, you know, so from 10 p.m. all the way up until that 9 a.m. open, right? So I figured after watching this massive red hour candle, it's going to be heading downwards to go grab that liquidity down there to then at some point, I truly believe it's going to keep heading up. Again, sometimes it will keep going. There's a big gap right here, hasn't filled yet. You know, it really just, instead of thinking in your head, right, instead of making choices just because you want to make choices, I feel like the best thing I could tell any of you, right, that I'm learning every single day, even when I lose, even when I win, is having confluence is everything. Don't just make trades. Don't just do a trade to do a trade. Have a reason to make a trade. Have confluence, right? Even if you don't trade that day, it's okay. Make sure you have confluence to every trade you are taking, right? So why am I taking this trade? Am I in a bearish market and taking bullish, you know, unless there was a complete reversal and a breakup structure on, I would say either on the 5 or the 15 minute, more importantly, candle showing that there's a complete and utter reversal and a break of structure, you should not be taking that trade. And, you know, that genuinely, I mean that, you know, so if we're looking at like the 15-minute candle, right? For example, like it's kind of like with this, right? We saw a complete break of structure. Even on the 15-minute candle, it's red. You know what I mean? We're breaking structure from this uptrend. We're heading downwards. So for example, you know, if we saw, I don't know, I'm just giving you random points of view here. You know, if all of a sudden we started seeing 15-minute candlesticks back to back, you know, and we're going above, you know, the bearish trend, we're obviously going to be breaking structure to go to the upside. So it really just depends on how you guys want to trade. There's multiple ways to trade. There's multiple levels to it. You know, I'm being honest. I would have made a lot more today, genuinely, if I went in when I should have went in, and I feel like I get myself in my head all the time. And I'm still extremely happy with my trade today, you know, and that's why I try to tell, oh, you only made 200 bucks. 200 bucks is 200 bucks, bro. You know, it means 200 bucks in green, you know, and some days are going to be way higher than that. Some days are going to be, unfortunately, going to be lower than that, and that's okay. You know, it's like eventually we'll be making 10K days. So if you are on this channel and you want to get rich, you want to grow as a man, you know, with God, with bettering yourself, this is the channel for you, man. You know, we invite God into all of our trades, and we're just trading to do what we can, you know, as we get richer and richer, which is going to happen. We're going to keep learning and learning, man. You know, we're going to learn and learn and learn. And eventually it's just going to all make sense. It's all going to be easy. And that's how I look at it, man. Eventually you'll be able to look at this just like me, and we're going to be able to demolish it, you know, and only through the Lord. So yeah, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on this content. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.